All right, we are live. Pretty excited today, man. I am welcoming Kevin and Brittany Foy. They're out of South Carolina. They just joined EXP, and we were at Coldwell Banker together. So not too long ago, actually. So they're a husband and wife. They're on a top producing team, and I'm excited to figure out how they're doing that without killing each other. Because I know me and my wife, Brittany, too, is it's sometimes right? So different visions and mindset on things. But thank you guys for taking the time out. I know you're busy. You guys sell a ton out there. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about you guys. So how long have you been in the business? Tell us about your team, about who came into real estate first, all that.
So I was licensed in January 2012, and I started at Coldwell Banker here locally. They were in business for a long time, well-respected company. Stayed there for several years, and then we moved to a local independent company, BRG. We were there for a couple of years, and now we're at EXP.
Nice. So how many people on a team? How many?
About 10.
How many?
About 10.
About 10. Holy crap. Wow, that's a lot. So, Kevin, when did you come into the business? The same time as Brittany, or years, or what was it?
Yeah, I was there from the beginning, but I played more of a backstage role, so to speak, more behind the scenes, maybe a financial contributor. I was actually in the medical field for the first 5 or 6 years of Brittany's career. And so I was always there to be a sounding board and kind of bounce ideas off of. But I really didn't come into play until about 3 or 4 years ago in real estate.
Wow. Nice. Now, I'm assuming that when you came in on the back end, I bet you it was it propelled your team a little bit more, right? When you have somebody that can handle that, right? That was probably a huge role there, right?
Yes.
Well, it was instrumental, I think, because Brittany, she can only do so many things with 2 hands and 1 mind. And she did a lot, though. She got up to about 75 transactions, and then that's when I came in and we started bringing on some admin and some people who could take a load off of them.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. The structure there. So you kind of so going over your structure, Brittany, you're obviously the rainmaker, team kind of lead, visionary of the team, and right. And then Kevin, you're the back end system. You make sure everything's like glue, right? Glued together, systems work. Yeah, the agents that come along on the team and all kind of
onboarding. Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that's similar to ours. I mean, I'm the one out front and doing like stuff like this and producing, and then I do a lot of the training of the team, and then Brittany, my wife, she's she's basically the director of operations. She handles everything else besides the sales piece. She handles day to day. Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah. So now tell us how do you guys deal with that? Because do you have kids, right?
Yeah, we have 2. We have a 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So how does that work with you guys day to day? Is that like you guys flip flop, like dealing, maybe picking them up, taking them, are they in daycare, stuff like that?
Yeah. So we both have our roles. We have a really good routine that works for us. And because we have different roles, even though we work together every day, we're still in and out of the office. So it's not like we're on top of each other all day. But we do like each other.
Yeah.
So
that helps.
We like working together when we are both in the office. So
nice.
It gets changed up pretty often because we're in and out.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's excellent. I'm always interested to know, it's from my dynamic or our dynamics, me and my wife, we it can be tough, because we see each other a lot in a sense of making decisions and going over stuff, and usually it's I have some kind of thought or vision, right? And then I bring it to her and she either slaps me or, or she figures it out and makes it better. So, so I know it can be, so how do you guys handle that when you go home at night is there a lot of Kevin? Let me ask Kevin real quick, right? So is there a lot of talk? Is it work? Is it like, hey, we're not talking about work. It's 5:30, 6 o'clock, no more. How does that work?
What would you say?
I think when we get home, I mean, it's not like a hard and fast rule of let's not talk about business at night, because sometimes you just have to handle things. But I would say in general, our family time is family time.
Good.
Now, I might have to leave the room for 10 minutes to help with something on the phone or answer a client's question or whatever. But in general, like when we're home, we're home.
Gotcha. Now, when the agents on your team have, maybe a struggle or something, are they going to Kevin or they go to you, or it depends on what it is?
It depends on what it is. So if it's something with contracts, that's me. And probably a lot of other stuff, it's him.
Yeah. Right. That's what we try to do it that way. And sometimes, it's weird because it's like the team sometimes like mom and dad, right? Like I'm going to give them sometimes a hard answer on certain things, and they're going to be like, I'm going to go to Brittany. So they go to my wife, and sometimes we don't agree on. I'm like, no, that's sales. That's me. So does that happen often with you guys? You guys pretty much have it.
I feel like we have it more down now, but in the beginning, I think it's a whole nother level of trying to figure out issues together. And you have to really embrace how you complement each other so that you're not just, it's either this way or that way. Like you figure it out together. And I mean, that takes time, but I think we're in a pretty good process now of doing that.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, for sure. I mean, I was more medical minded, and people would go to Brittany for everything. And over the years, as I've learned more, and she's taught me and sort of spoon fed me. I had a good mentor. She's really super smart. Yeah. So she kind of put me on the fast track. So now I can be of more assistance with a lot of different things. Contracts, definitely still Brittany. But when it comes to business questions or questions
marketing,
or some of our systems, people are coming to me more, and I think that probably helps her sort of back out of production quite as much.
Yeah, right. Because you got to, like I always tell, I train my team, you got to be business oriented, right? You've got to have time to do certain things consistently, and in order for your business to grow, right? And not get caught up in all the day-to-day stuff sometimes. And that's where a great, director of operations or office manager, or even like a transaction coordinator, obviously we have one, and she handles all that, documents going here or there. And, that's what I try to do for our team. So they just focus on leads.
That's why, and I'm sure you feel similar, but that's why I'm so thankful that he came on, because we felt like we basically maximized what I could do as one person. And he didn't want me to get ran over. And so now as a team, we can do so much more than we were before.
Absolutely right. I agree. And again, I think, it allows you to expand your reach, right? Because you as the rainmaker, you guys have established who you are there, both of you, right? So, and that's obviously, that's huge from a recruiting standpoint too. I think a lot of your agents probably have seen your production and the marketing that's Kevin's doing and things like that. And they want to be associated with that. And then the public sees, hey, these are people who I could trust, and they've got a big team now. They can help me no matter what. And so that's great. Awesome. So we were together at Coldwell Banker, and you left before I did. I don't know if you knew, but I was doing, they hired me. You remember that? What's that?
I remember you coming and doing a presentation in our office. I can't remember when that was, but we left about a little over 2 years ago, because we were with BRG for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's when I left. I left Coldwell Banker in 2019.
Gotcha.
May? Was it May? I think it was
May.
May.
So you left before us then, a little before us.
Yeah, I left. No, I don't think so. Maybe it was 2020 then.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember you leaving, because I remember the talk of it. You left.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Not negative talk. Not people weren't like bashy but they were like, yeah, they left, and I was shocked. I was like, whoa, what? So I think I had called some people there in the South Carolina area and said, "What happened?" And they're like, "Well, they just had an opportunity that they felt was better, and they thought it was going to be better for them, and that
Yeah.
was it." So, I'm not sure if that's how it went there because I know sometimes it's rough when you leave. I tell you that. But so yeah,
they were all very kind to us, but yeah,
good.
we did have an opportunity, and I bled blue for a long time, like several years. But
Yeah.
we just with BRG had the opportunity to have a branch and to
Mhm.
just provide more to our team. So that's
Yeah, absolutely. And you always got to think of it that way, business wise, and obviously for your family, and then even more for your team. And sometimes people just don't understand that. And there's nothing you could do about that. But ultimately, that's a good thing. So I was, I of course where we're at, we don't have any the BRG. Is that a franchise? It's a franchise, right?
It's it's an independent. They might have one or two franchises. I'm not sure about their
how they do it. Yeah, because we don't have those here. So I never heard of them, but I saw you went, and I think some other Seacoasters left too.
did.
Yeah. So I was, that was the first I heard of the BRG.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, okay. So now you guys just left there and have joined EXP. So take us on kind of that journey and that mindset, especially like you had a good opportunity where you were at, and what made you shift mindset to EXP?
So we're doing well at BRG. It was a good move for us. And we kept hearing whispers about EXP. We, like everybody else that you hear, were like, I don't think so. I don't get this. We stiffened it for a long time. But then, we started thinking, okay, do we want to open up our own company? Do we want to stay here? What do we want to do? And the more that we researched EXP, we were like, well, I don't want to open up my own and compete with EXP because they're about to really come into this area hard and strong. So I think just like everybody else, the more that you research it and understand it, as team leaders, you have a responsibility, right? It's not just you anymore. You are supposed to be providing the best space for your team members. And where can you do that? And if that changes, unfortunately, sometimes you got to go.
You know what? Real quick, I don't want to interrupt you guys' story, but you are one of the only people that I've talked to in a lot of EXP. Like I do a lot of these interviews now and talk to agents and stuff, and just talking to team leaders, I try to tell them that, right? And they just don't see it sometimes. Is when I thought about leaving, the first thing I thought about was my team, of course. Like, is this going to help them? So I knew where I was at, which was Coldwell Banker, and I was on the commission scale, right? I knew I couldn't give my team any benefits, really. I mean, besides obviously partner with me, I was helping their business and training them. Sure, that's worth a lot of money, but ultimately, commission could not increase. I couldn't give them any more. I mean, I was not moving anywhere. Like I always say, when's your next promotion to where you're at? I had no promotion coming anytime soon. And I knew obviously there was no stock, there was no ability for the rev share, there was no healthcare, there was nothing there that I could give them being just a team leader. And that's exactly what I said. I said, I owe it to people who kind of are looking up at me. Well, I'm short, so they're looking down at me, but they're looking up at me as a mentor, right? They're just saying, hey, this guy knows it. And I think I owed it to them. And I told them as soon as I said, hey, I'm thinking about making a move and here's where I'm thinking about going. I'd love all of you to go. And they said, wherever you go, we're going. It doesn't matter to us. We're with you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So good point. Did everybody come with you guys?
Pretty much for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I had one stay. Yeah. So I had one stay. But she was moving anyways, and that eventually joined us. She moved to Florida, and now she's with us, but she's in Florida. So, but she stayed initially. But okay, so tell us, like, what were the, from your perspective, where you were at, was a good move for you. You guys did a great job there, right?
We did.
EXP, What really like you thought about like, man, this is really good.
So we were doing great at BRG. They are, well respected, great support, all of that. But at EXP, I just loved how the training comes from people who can coach you to the next level. And we just kind of feel like we're at that point. We're going to close out well over 40 million this year, which is great. But, going to that $100 million level, 200 million, EXP has those teams and has trainings from those people. They have literally a lot of the best agents in the country. And I just couldn't ignore that anymore.
Yeah, when we started seeing people who actually own franchises with, big corporations, the global companies, and they were making the switch from, Remax or Coldwell Banker, and they were going to EXP.
Yep.
We had to take a closer look at it. And, we linked up with Lars and, our sponsor, Andrew. And, we talked to them and said, hey, if you guys can help us out with these mega icon financial benefits for our team, then that's going to make the value proposition much greater.
Even better.
So when we offer that to our team, it's a lot easier for them to say yes and move forward with us in that regard.
Listen, I love you two. You guys are here. I'd hug both of you because you guys have the same. We think the exact same. Like I thought about my team, and I always tell team leaders, like, where you're at right now, your team cannot progress. Your team members have no promotion. Like they're going to leave you for sure. All team members usually leave. I mean, that's what I want. Like I always want somebody me to help them and grow, and they could do it on their own, right? But ultimately, and then the second piece that I think is so undervalued is the collaboration that you get with EXP. I don't think people realize, like Lars, you're talking about, he's like world known. I mean, he's a coach and he has helped hundreds, maybe thousands of agents and their businesses. And I think he gets paid to do that. Right. So, I mean, and you got the Kyle Whistles, you got Daniel Beer, you've got Jay Kinder, who's my sponsor is Jay Kinder directly. And they were coaches. And I mean, I call him instantly. Calls me back. He sends me spreadsheets of how he did his team or whatever it is. It's instant. And that just takes your business to the next level. Because now you're sitting in a room with people who, if you weren't at EXP, you really wouldn't have access to.
Exactly.
And like you at BRG, right? You're their top people. You were their top team. And
now, you have some great agents, some good producers, really good producers, but there's not that, $100 million team. I mean, a lot of companies don't do $100 million, So just loved at EXP. There's not just one or two. There's a lot of great agents with these massive businesses. And we've already gotten so much help and advice, and we haven't even been there, a month, I don't think.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of goes back to you play better golf with better golfers, right?
That's it. Yeah, it's exactly right. Like, look, I loved the other companies I was in, but if you really sit back and I put myself back there and said, did any of the top producers ever share their playbook? Did they ever come in and say, hey, Dave Frost, hey, Brittany and Kevin, here's how I do leads. Here's what I say. Here's objection handling. Here's how to run a team. Here's
or if they do, it's like, send out some postcards and cold call. And nothing's wrong with those things.
Right.
Sure. But it's just kind of the same old regurgitated stuff. It's not fresh. It's not totally transparent because, at EXP, I just feel like you really are incentivized to help and everybody is open.
Yep. Everybody's got a leg in the game is what I always say is, like I tell agents on my team, look, if you got somebody that's interested to come to EXP, great. I will help you. Obviously, I will do whatever I can. I'll train them, how to become a top agent. I'll, for listings or this, and I help do that, because obviously everybody's got a leg in it. That the agent on my team who's bringing that agent, and then of course me too. Right. So, and I love that about EXP but like a lot of the agents, I talked to Veronica Figueroa. I've talked to her a few times. Like she's a monster out there in Orlando, Florida. She's not my sponsor, but she answers texts or emails and says, "Oh yeah, this is how we would do it," or what. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I always go back into the other companies. I'm thinking, you just didn't get the collaboration because everybody really was competing against. They're just competing against each other. So it's like, I like you, Brittany and Kevin, but I'm not going to give you all my objection handling secrets, or I'll tell you what we do, but in a vague, right way.
Yes.
You can even get in that conversation.
Right.
So
totally agree.
So that is excellent. So you came, I think, all for the right reasons, as we did, and everything else is just added to it. So now, so for both of you now, what was one more on board early on than the other, or were you guys both kind of in sync?
I would say, Brittany, she's so smart. She was on board from the beginning, and I'm more of a. I've had more experience, and I've been in the military. I've been in the medical field. I've had more different types of industrial experiences, and I think that probably made me skeptical. A little bit more skeptical, and I wanted to sort of take our time and take baby steps. And she was like, "Let's go," But that's kind of how that.
Yeah. Brittany and I are similar. Like, I'm more of the risk taker, but I did. And my story is weird, and I'm just going to share it real quick for you guys. Like, so when I was doing a recruiter piece for Seacoast, and the training, and what I ended up doing was, I wanted to know as much as I could on these other models. Remax model in our area, the Keller Williams, EXP was one, So I started research. I would take like a weekend and I would just research it.
Yeah.
Because like if Kevin was a Remax agent and I was going after, I'd want to know, if I'm sitting next to Kevin, he couldn't throw me any hard, curveballs or anything, because I've researched the model. I know how much you're paying monthly. I know what they're getting right. Here's how we're different. So that's what happened. I started research EXP one weekend, and I was like, get the hell out of here. And then I got obsessed with it, which was crazy. I, like they say, I see it. And then I thought, this is bull crap. So I went from, this is awesome, no way. And I just kept digging in. And then I said, there's something there. This is bull crap. They're going to get you in the end somewhere. Or something. And then, so I went through that phase. And then finally I was like, look, there's nothing there. I read through everything. I called EXP agents. I talked to them. So it was like almost a 3-month period there before we made the move. So, yeah. So was it a long process for you guys, or was it more quicker?
It took us over a year.
Wow. So you guys thought about it.
First conversation to move.
I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm partly responsible for that because, we were moving a team. If it was just us, we probably would have moved quicker. But whenever you're responsible for the growth of other people, you take that seriously. So we really took our time with it. And, it was over a year.
Yeah. And that's the norm, honestly, especially like in a producing team like you, statistically, they say it's a good year to 2 years before, your first conversation to actually a move, or so that's common. And again, your thought process was great though, thinking of your team, and then you got to think about the branding and, what are you doing there? Rebranding and signs and, all that stuff, right, comes, you start talking about that as well. But,
and as much as I was excited about it, one thing that I was not worried, but curious about is, we are used to having brokers, really close by, and staff and support, a phone call away. And we were like, is their support going to be as good as what we're used to? Because Coldwell Banker and BRG have really good support.
Right.
And I have been so surprised. I mean, it is almost instantaneous answers. There is a support person for everything possible. Right. Whenever I've contacted my broker, who is local, by the way, she lives 30 minutes from here, it's like an immediate response, and it's been awesome.
Her name is Darcy Varney, and she is amazing.
There you go. There's a shout out.
Darcy.
No, that's excellent. And I think that's one of the biggest myths that's out there about EXP is there's no support. You're out there in the cloud base, like, floating on a cloud somewhere. Like, and again, even for me, I really did not understand the concept. It took me a while to really grasp it. I'm thinking, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, we don't go into the world often, but even going into there, you could go right into your state office, right? And somebody's always there. It's just technology is so weird with that, right? With your avatar and all that stuff. But ultimately you get answers too. If you don't get your BIC, or another maybe EXP agent who can help you through maybe an EXP question or something. But really fast. And then getting paid. Of course, you guys went, from Coldwell Banker to BRG, and that went really well. I don't know about BRG, but Coldwell Banker did a great job of getting us paid in a time and trying to get us paid fast, right? But sometimes it was days, and nothing against them. It wasn't like they tried to do that. But being a cloud-based, nobody's even around you, and I'm getting paid the same day or right in the next morning.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that, and especially for the other agents on a team. Right. Yep. Just automatically there. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think, even from looking at it from a team leader standpoint, right, you want to make sure that, some of your newer agents, man, that check is very important. And if it keeps getting delayed, I mean, it affects people. And it may not affect us, right? Because, we're doing 70 to 80, whatever it is, right? I mean, but ultimately it's still important, and sometimes more important to others than not. So
absolutely.
That was big. So, so you guys, the stock wasn't a major factor to you, but did you guys think about it like, wow, this is pretty cool? Or
we definitely thought that it was cool because it's not really something that a lot of companies offer, but we wanted to make sure that it made sense for us just at a foundational level, that the numbers made sense, the systems, all of that stuff made sense. And then we basically considered the rev share and stock like bonus.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
how we look at it.
Yes, no, absolutely. So now when you transition to EXP, and how long you been with EXP? About a month?
Not even a month out of, maybe a month.
Gotcha. Now, do you have a lot of EXP around you or not yet?
I think there's about 100 locally, but I want to say 3 branch offices, including ours. So
okay, yeah, it's about kind of our area in Jacksonville. Still new. A lot of agents out there just don't understand it. They just think the cloud base is like, you're out there on your own. Like it just, or they can't get an office, right? Or they can't use, maybe another team like me. I have a branch office. I have plenty of office space. I have a conference room. Like this is our studio we have in here. Like they're all welcome to do that, but they don't understand that. So they think, they're just used to the brick and mortar, and they got to read into it a little bit more and maybe call one of us. We can help them through it. But so since your move, has any agents, called you, asked you a question, want to maybe kind of join your team? Yeah.
We have onboarded a couple. We're in talks with a couple more. It's been a really great response, actually.
Great. So how's the onboarding? How was that for your team and you? Was it a little struggle, rough, or did it go smooth?
I think overall it went smoothly. I mean, it takes a few days because there's a lot of systems to get keyed into and things like that. But our business didn't stop. We met as a team to onboard so that, if anybody had like a glitch or issue, we could just work on it all together. So I think that probably helped more than everybody doing it on their own.
Yep. Good. And Kevin, what do you think? Were you there like to help the agents too, kind of get through it? So did you two do it first, or did you do it all together, whole team?
Well, we did it first. We did it the night before so that we could be able to help them the next day.
Right. Okay.
So we did it the night before, and then everybody else did it after us.
Yeah. Okay. Because I mean, we and I can't remember it now, but it was pretty smooth for us, but then again, I'm the oldest guy on my team. So the other ones are all so young and they're all used to, all the links and all that. Me, I'm like, what the, but I figured it out pretty easy too. But ultimately, it went pretty smooth because I know sometimes the onboarding, especially when you get bigger teams, we've heard a little bit of a little stagnant there and some things, but that's good. I'm glad it went well. So, look, I'm glad you guys got to sit down and talk to me. I look forward to talking to you more, and I would love to collaborate with each other. Maybe bring you guys down. Maybe we'll do like a mastermind here or something where, we can bring in other agents in and go over some training with them, or I'll come there with my team. And this is excellent. So welcome aboard EXP. I think you guys are going to kill it. You kill it everywhere you go. So it doesn't really matter like what we say. I mean, nothing against our firms, but you guys have the right mindset. You take care of your team, your business owner. I mean, so, congrats for making the move and welcome aboard. And anything I can do, you let me know. I've been here a little bit longer, but I think you guys got a good grasp there.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So this is obviously broadcasted on Facebook page, my YouTube and all that. And I'll take it and I'll rip it, is what they call it, right, to a podcast. So it'll be on a podcast and it'll be out, Spotify, all over the place. So if you guys want to take it and share it, or please do so. But thank you guys so much. I wish you the utmost, success and everything you do. And look, if you guys need anything, let me know. But you guys have a great weekend. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, David.
All right. Yes. Thank you guys. All right. We'll see you. Bye.